It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish. Well, I'm so excited that you've all tuned into today's program. For any of you that if it's your very first time, thank you so much. Our program has been running now for almost 11 years. We're actually in our 11th year right now. And it's because of all of our listeners that we've continued to develop our program, and now we are listened to in over 30 countries around the world. So a big shout out to all of you. Today's program, we're going to be introducing a brand new diva to our family. Her name is Mandy Riley Voss. I hope I pronounced that right, Mandy. And I'm very excited because this woman is a mover and a shaker, and I can't wait for her to share all her tips and tools today. So, Mandy, welcome to the program today.
Thanks so much for having me. Super excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited to get to know you. Mandy, before we kind of dive into stuff, would you mind sharing with our listeners a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and some of the things you like to do?
Okay, sure. So, as she said, my name is Mandy, and the pronunciation of my last name is Relier Voss. I don't think anyone ever gets it right. I am 32 years young, and I am a new transplant to British Columbia on Vancouver Island. I'm originally from Kingston, Ontario, and I made the move out here 5 months ago to chase outdoor adventure. And that's kind of my number one hobby. What I like to do in my spare time is just explore the outdoors. I'm currently gearing up, and I'm going to spend a lot of time this summer doing backcountry backpacking. And
nice.
Since COVID started, I've gotten really good at sourdough bread. I knit a lot. I paint. I read books. I play guitar. I play piano. I've got lots and lots and lots of hobbies.
I love that. I think all of us have kind of developed some new skills through this COVID-19 thing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, I run an online business, and I have been working from home pretty much since the beginning. There was a 2-year period where I did rent office space. But to be completely honest, my lifestyle hasn't really changed that much. I work for myself. I work from home. My clientele has remained pretty much the same. We've actually grown. So the hobbies, I have a lot of hobbies, but I've kind of had to rededicate myself to that because when you work at home, sometimes you get into the trap of working a lot versus leaving, going to an office, and then having a quit time. So I've developed strategies to ensure that I'm, not working too much. Like, I have an office and I close my door when the day's done, and I'm not allowed to come back in here. So that means I have to do hobby stuff.
I love it. Well, I think that's so important. And, just starting to show up with that great tip because a lot of people don't think of it that way. And especially if you're working at home, you think, okay, either I'm not dedicated enough or I'm too dedicated. And how do you get that really good balance? And, for myself, a mentor of mine years ago said, do your stuff in 15-minute increments. You'll get a lot more done. You're more productive. And it helped me immensely, especially with having my children at home because I was homeschooling. So I love that aspect that you do that too. One of the things that you help people with, which is absolutely a great topic for today's program, is social media. And I want to talk a little bit about that because now that everybody is at home and they're trying to figure things out, how is it that they need to use social media in order to keep on building their businesses?
So that's a really, really great question. There are lots of answers to this. I'll give a little bit of background. So my company is called Like a Voss Social Media. I'm in my 8th year now, and we have a team of 6 and a few contractors. We specialize in organic social media growth. So that means no paid advertisements. All of our clients rely on us to create their content and share their content and then engage with their audience in order to drive those numbers up and reach the goals. So the way that we use social media is a lot different than, say, a paid ads agency. So, a paid ad agency will put up a video, put $2,000 behind it, have a click through to a landing page and make a sale. Whereas what we are doing is creating a community of engaged, loyal fans around brands that, are the ones going out and singing your praises to, say, all of their friends. The shift with COVID is a lot more time is being spent online. And with that, there's a lot more chances to engage and get in front of the eyes of the target market in an organic way. That being said, it really depends on the company, what strategies are employed, but being very intentional about what you're doing on social media is really important, because you can easily just kind of get lost in a rabbit hole and waste time, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. It really makes a lot of sense. And, because a lot of people I like that you're making the distinction there, because a lot of people are probably wondering what the difference is and what does it mean to be organic. And you're saying you spend time and I think too, you don't necessarily, if you're going to spend money on marketing, or you're going to have to continue to spend money on that, and you're not really growing in the more money you put out there. So I really like what your company is doing.
Yeah, so for example, and this happened yesterday. So we had this client, a very, very small Instagram account, and he's been struggling to supply us with content because he's a new father, he's a musician, and in raising a child in a household during COVID, it's just a lot, right? And we're like, oh, we need some photos from you, or we need some video content. He's like, I just don't have time to do it. So we're like, okay, cool. You're a piano player, so, we're going to post what we have of you playing piano, but we're also going to find some, heartwarming content online and share other people's content of them playing piano. And we put a post out, and it blew up, almost immediately. I don't have his account open in front of me right now since I'm on my phone, but, within an hour of this post going out, it had hit 11,894 reach, and his account is so. And this is just simply sharing someone else's video, and we've got right now the video views are at 3,408 with 34 comments, and all we did was find a really heartwarming piece of content and share it on this feed and give credit back to the person who originally created it. And it just kind of blew up, and it was mostly from the hashtags on the post. But, this is intentional, right? Okay, the people that are following this person follow him because they are fans of piano. They like listening to people play piano. They're interested in him as a piano player. So this is why it worked, right? We're speaking directly to the audience, and that, there's a difference between just putting content out for the sake of putting content out, and really kind of thinking the content you're putting out and ensuring that it's speaking to your target audience.
So that's something that you help your clients with, is finding out what their target is, because if not, they'll be lost in the shuffle, because there's so much that people can do. And if they don't go very specific, then it doesn't really work out.
Yeah. So, depending on the size of the company or the person that we're working with. So, we work with some pretty big brands, and when you're at a certain level, the expectation is that you have your target market profile outlined, and then you've got your branding guide completed, and you're kind of just providing us with that info to create the strategy. With the smaller people that aren't really sure, we do take time to work with them and determine what that target audience is based on the goals. We do a discovery session with every single client, no matter how big or small, and ask some very pointed questions to uncover that information. Our discovery session is sometimes the client's favorite part, because we ask something, they're like, oh my gosh, no one's ever asked me that before. And in my mind, I'm like, well, if no one's ever asked you, then how are they delivering you the best quality content that speaks to your audience? To me, it's just kind of a no-brainer, but they never thought about it, and no other company that they'd worked with or talked to had ever asked that question. So, yeah, we have a very intentional way of how we come up with strategies for clients. And then, as an example by this is, he wasn't able to provide the content that we wanted, so we went out and found content that fit within the strategy.
I love that. You're probably seeing a lot of things too, because a lot of people are going into this. They're telling people they're social media experts, and they're really probably don't have all the information that's required.
Yeah, so it's been a very saturated industry since I started. I mean, to be honest with you, I started and I didn't know a whole lot. I knew that I had built an audience around the business I was working for, and I was great at engaging, and I was great at creating excitement around contesting and writing that content. And, you know, a couple of people that I had worked with reached out to me privately and said, hey, we really like what you're doing with this company. Can you do ours? And I kind of was like, oh, never even considered that. And starting the business, there was no business plan. There was no grand, you know, oh, I'm going into business for myself. I threw up a website, made a logo, named it, and like 2 days later I was just kind of working, and then I ended up quitting my job and going for it. And it, you know, like I didn't set out thinking that this is what I was going to do. And like the things that I was doing 8 years ago are not things that anyone should be doing now. I have definitely improved. I'm continually updating my training. But, you know, like, yeah, you can call yourself a social media expert, but, you know, what are the credentials? Like, what have you done? Who have you worked with? What are the results you provided? I'm pretty sure at some point I wrote a blog on, like, 7 questions to ask your social media manager, which is a great tool to use when you are trying to look for either a single person solopreneur business or an agency like mine. Do your research, right? Don't just hire someone. A lot of the people that we've worked with are like, oh, I hired someone and I feel like they totally ripped me off. Like, I don't know what they did. They didn't deliver on what they promised. I paid them. The work didn't get done. Unfortunately, there is a lot of that out there.
Yes,
so, I mean, I recommend, you know, probably vetting the person that you decide to work with.
I think that's really great advice, because I think we need to, even though we think that somebody might be a good fit for us, we should do our research just to find out if they have the credentials like you're saying. So thank you so much for sharing that. I wanted to dive into something else. You had said there's a cause that's near and dear to you. Can you kind of share that with us?
Yeah, so I love that my interview is this week because it aligns perfectly with me talking about this. So this is Eating Disorder Awareness Week in Canada, February 1st to the 7th. I have spoken publicly about this one other time, but I suffered from 2 eating disorders in my youth. I guess I'm still young-ish, but, you know, 17, 18, 19, I was bulimic and anorexic. So over the years, I have just made body positivity and awareness about these things kind of a priority for me. It was hard for me to speak out about the fact that I personally had suffered from it. People just kind of saw me talking about it. I also suffer from body dysmorphia, which is really, really difficult to explain. But the cause that I care about is Body Brave. They're on Instagram, Body Brave Canada. They support eating disorder treatment and support. They provide training and education. And they also have a Body Peace conference, which I wanted to attend, but COVID is just no conferences because of COVID. Darn you, COVID. But yeah, definitely check them out on Instagram. They've got a great website. Donate if you can. And if you're big on Instagram, go over to their page and share their post for this week. It's actually been really cool. They have like a 7-day countdown they're doing. Show us your purple blank. So like day 1 was plants, day 2 was clothing, day 3 was books, day 4 is crafts. And I posted my little photo with me and my purple wool for my knitting project this morning, just to spread awareness of color. Yeah. So I don't know if you want me to talk any more about like my experiences with it, or, you know, why I think it's important to educate.
I think it's a wonderful thing that you're talking about, because I think, especially with you being in social media and your business, having that, it's a big topic. You know, young girls are overwhelmed with out there, and there's filters, there's so much, and then you're trying to feel like you fit in. And I think it's really important for people to have an awareness about that, and to have organizations that they can contact, especially parents that have children that are going through this.
Yeah, so this is a really loaded topic for me. So I have a strict no filter policy. None of the content that I post online that shows my face is filtered in any way. I do not edit my photos. I don't use presets on my social media. If you go to my Instagram, it's a very small following, very intentional posting, a lot of mental health awareness, body positivity stuff, and then just me. The reason that I do this is because of what I experienced growing up. I remember reading my diary, and like this is like one of the most sad things, and my mother like cries if I talk about this. Is like there's this post in my diary, or this entry in my journal, that basically said like, if I lose weight, boys will like me. And at this point, I was about 17, and I'd never been kissed. I'd never had a boyfriend, and I dropped like 70 pounds in 6 months due to anorexia and bulimia. And I landed my first boyfriend when I was 100 pounds and looked absolutely sick. And I dated him for quite a while. It wasn't until I was like 21 that I kind of healed, quote unquote. There are definitely lasting effects of this. But, you know, I'm at a healthy weight now. I do not wear makeup. I wear mascara or whatever. And I'm, you know, but due to, you know, this having been part of my past, I have to be like aware of my weight, because I still do the compare game. I still body shame myself as much as I, you know, try to promote the opposite. It's very deep inside of me. You know, like I know that I'm a healthy weight. I know that I look great. I know that, but my brain and my inner critic doesn't truly let me feel it, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm changing clothes, look in the mirror, I'm like, oh man, you need to lose 10 pounds. I'm like, no, stop. Like, stop saying that. No, you don't. You're fine. Like, I still go through it. And social media is like, and it's hard because I work in the industry, but like a huge contributor to young girls feeling these feelings. And, you know, this girl has more followers than me, and look how skinny she is. And, there's an atrocious trend right now on TikTok called the headphones challenge. Have you heard of this?
No, I haven't heard of that one yet.
Okay, so this is videos of young girls wrapping headphones around their waist, and you need to be able to wrap it around twice and tie it.
What?
And girls are videoing themselves. Like the Apple white little headphones, and they wrap them twice around and tie them to the front, and that's like the ideal waist size. And this is viral.
Oh my goodness!
Like, what the F? Like, that is absolutely atrocious in every way. Like, that is so unhealthy. I saw some videos also that like, I'm not on TikTok, but I can obviously see them in, you know, the media. And I think it was like a Korean TikTok person, and it was a male, and he was going around to young women with a mask and like measuring their waist, and if you put the mask on the side of their waist and then stretch where, you know, it would go over your ears, and if it wouldn't close, he'd like look at them, shake his head, and walk away. Like that, I feel like 5 inches maybe. Like, what? I mean, this is viral stuff that's presented on social media, and it's absolutely sickening. And, you know, and I struggle with that because, you know, I've been there. I've gone through that. I've tried to heal myself, come out the other side, and it's still so prevalent. And, like, when I was 13, I didn't have a cell phone with access to social media, and I was still going through that, right? Like, 13 is when I was, you know, starting to have those feelings, and, you know, my weight didn't fall off, and then it was all high school stuff, right? So, you know, girls as young as 10 have cell phones now. Even younger, you know, 3-year-olds are on YouTube watching makeup tutorial videos. Like what? I'm sorry, like, that's just, like, I got to be a kid and I still suffered through eating disorders. I couldn't imagine what would have happened to me if I had the pressure of social media bearing down on me during the time that I was going through those things.
You know, and that's why I like to have these conversations. People need to be more aware of it. They just, honestly, it's because it's so, they see it all the time. They don't even think about it. And And that's the worst thing, is when you don't have those conversations and you don't realize that there's going to be these issues. And now that you're saying, a lot of people, unless they're younger, they probably don't watch TikTok. You know, they don't know what's going on, so they don't know what their kids are seeing all the time, and that's a scary thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm pretty set in my ways about certain things. Like, I wore makeup when I was younger, and it irritated my skin, so I stopped wearing it. And it really bothers me when little girls, like little under 5-year-old girls, are asking mommy to help them with makeup, or asking to put on mommy's makeup, or watching makeup tutorial videos. Like, I'm sorry, you're way too young for that. I don't have children, so, you know, take this with a grain of salt. I don't know what it's like for a child to beg me to do something and have to sit down and try to explain to them why. But, like, it bothers me that is introduced so young. Like, you don't need makeup to be beautiful, especially when you're 3 to 5 years old. Like, I don't think that anyone requires it. It's just ingrained from such a young age. Like, I had a funny experience the other week. I was talking to a girlfriend, and she said something to me about, like makeup or foundation, or, like, and I'm like, yeah, girl, I don't even own any. And she's like, what? I'm like, I own, like, one foundation thing that I bought 2 years ago for a special event that I couldn't hire a makeup artist to come in and do it for me. And it's sitting there, and it's past its expiry date. Like, I literally don't own it. And she's like, wow, that's so weird, like, that you just don't own it. I'm like, I don't wear it. There are people in the world that don't wear makeup.
Yep.
It's not that weird,
Yep.
is it? Maybe it is. I don't know. I have mascara because my eyelashes are, like, white blonde because I'm a ginger. But other than that, like, that's it. I do very nice. I love skincare. And
yep, I do that.
That's it. There's no filters. And, like, I'm seeing mothers, and I find it really hard to speak about this because I'm not a mother. So, again, you know, this is just me observing as someone who spends time on social media. Like, they're filtering photos of their 6 and under child and posting them online. Or the child is posing in a provocative way and they're posting that on Instagram. Or, you know, they take a video of their child posing in the mirror and talking about, oh, like, look how pretty she is. Like, I have another hard and fast rule. I actually don't compliment women on their looks. You could be the most gorgeous woman ever, and when I comment on your photo on social media, I don't say, wow, you're so beautiful. I say, look at that confidence. What a killer outfit. Like, anything
That's
to
perfect.
not base the compliment on looks. We do engagement strategy documents for, like, I have one for my own channels in case someone goes in and does commenting for me. And it literally says, do not ever compliment looks, ever. And it's, like, underlined. Because as a woman, I would much prefer a man or anyone be like, wow, you're so smart, or, oh, you're such an awesome business owner, or, like, look what you built for yourself, or, oh, you look so great in that outfit, not, you are pretty. Like, that is just the most shitty, like, okay, so what? Yeah, I am pretty, but, like, there's so much more to me than that, and that is not what my focus is. My focus is on my business and my hobbies and building up other women and shining light on issues. Yeah, okay, I'm pretty, but that is just so not my value, or any woman's value for that matter.
I love that tip. I
you.
do. Like, I think that is so powerful because a lot of people don't, and I'm probably bad for that. When I see a friend that I haven't seen, I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful photo. Like, I have to be aware of that, and I want to thank you for sharing that because I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it's, you know, it's not like you can't say something looks related, like, oh my gosh, look at that smile, is still more impactful than you're pretty, right? Like, that, because a smile, like, they're smiling for a reason. What was the feeling behind that smile? If someone compliments my smile, it makes me smile more. Oh, I love the way you did your hair today. That's, you know, like a looks-based compliment, but that doesn't just blanket it as, like, oh, you're so pretty. Oh, like, here, I'm like, I'm noticing you took time to style your hair in a way that makes you feel good about yourself. What a killer outfit. You know, that's a style compliment. Still kind of looks related, but again, not you are pretty or you are beautiful. Because, you know, those are terms that, you know, there's a beauty standard, right? Well, no, everyone's beautiful in their own way. And
I like that.
So, yeah, think
that
about
is
that.
Probably I love that tip. Like, I'll be honest with you. I think that is such a strong, powerful, empowering tip to share with our listeners today. So I hope all of you that are listening today you take that and you use that and you understand how strong that is.
Yeah. Go forth and compliment, not looks-based things.
Exactly. Oh, Mandy, I have had such a great time with you. I know we didn't dive into some of the things that I wanted to talk about today, but I'm hoping that you'll come back on the program and share more about your business and social media and maybe give more tips and tools for our listeners.
You know what? That would be great. But I'm really happy the conversation went where it did because it's super important and more people need to talk about it.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on the program today. I appreciate everything that you were doing out there on so many levels.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great chatting.
Oh, you're welcome. And you know what? Big shout out to all of our listeners today. Thank you so much for tuning into the Divas That Care. I hope that you take Mandy's call and you give it to your friends and family. You know what? Especially if they're listening to what we had just discussed at the end of the program. I know that you're going to want to check out her social media page too. So I'm going to be posting that on our links so that you're able to check that out. Well, everyone, that's it for today. I hope that you have a fantastic day and that you do something kind for somebody. Until next time.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.